blessings involve contracts. Welcome back to Pisces TV with Montana B. This is your finance reading for the collective. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. Your career sector, wherever house you have Pisces, and it affects your finances, career, family life, joint income, all that kind of stuff. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As we get started with the reading, just wanted to say there are some changes coming about. So the Etsy store is still up and running. However, I'm going to be transferring the platform. So any purchases that you are considering through Etsy, I strongly recommend you check the community board for an alternative. Why? I'm giving a huge discount for the Black Friday sale, which has already started. So first of all, you want to follow those instructions to get like $25, $30 items for just $5, first of all. So you want to check that out. If you haven't subscribed already, you might want to go ahead and do so. As my members, my subscribers, you get the information first. So some of you may stumble upon advertisement or incentives when you watch the video and I talk in the introduction like this. Others of you get the notifications, you get the alerts, and our Patreon members, you all get the flyers and stuff like that first. So if you're interested in joining us on the other side in our membership section, the link to Patreon is also in the description box. If you want the extended to this video membership section. So first and foremost, it's not something that I do to like drive you guys to want to do it. It's just that if you like the channel, want to show your support, get some good karma, get the exclusives, extended discount codes. Like if you want all that stuff, I'm just telling you how to get it. If you don't, I do this for you. Like I still post videos every day. So, and I appreciate that you're watching it. I appreciate the returners for your continued support and all of the members and non-members first and foremost. So as we get started, had to get that out the way. I have some good news, some good energy here. It is so Pisces. It is a first. I have been saying that more frequently, and I appreciate that as we get into this new year. I have never talked about incarnated angels. I had to Google the definition to see actually what that was. But some of you, one of you, may actually be an incarnated angel. And it's like, you may need to hear that. You may need to be, I'm sorry, not may need to be. You may need to hear that for sure. It could affect you as far as your finances and profession. You could be struggling in some areas or doing some things, and it's time to kind of like reflect on all of your talents, something that's hidden deep within you, something that you haven't given a lot of attention to, but maybe in the back of your mind, or this may be a nudge or a push for you to kind of dig deeper into yourself, because I think for some of you, you may be unhappy with your finances. And so I don't care if it's an ancestor, source, your higher self, or just the timing for me to confirm that you have a gift or an ability that I don't feel like is very rewarding to you because you're unaware of it or not using it, or need a little bit of a push or confirmation to do so. Okay. Others of you that are into real estate, brokerage, property, something about your home, family life, living conditions, that came up because the Four of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups, perfect cards for like real estate, home, housing, purchasing, saving for a home. You know what I'm saying? Saving to relocate, waiting on an answer. Someone actually surprisingly reaching out to you, or getting an email, a text, a message in the near future, or maybe you have recently, that kind of like spin you into a different direction as far as your career sectors. Some of you could be counselors, getting into even hypnosis, Reiki, childcare services, healthcare services, all of that stuff came up. And now if you are one of my tarot course students, then you know. If you watch a lot of tarot, then you may know. But as far as professions, advice, obstacles, I'm going to lay it all out for you here. And then we'll get started with the reading. So if you choose to, like I said, follow us to the other side, I'm also doing a pick a card and clarifiers to get deeper off into the specifics. All right. So current energy, we have the Four of Pentacles. So while everything is good, You may be going through some transitions, some transformations in finances. I don't care if it's because of joint income, separating, coming into relationships, shared properties, children, whatever the case. Your neighborhood going through renovations, property taxes, like all kind of stuff like that, where I've seen sometimes they take the inner city or an urban area that may have been more economically affordable. If it's really close to a suburb, they try to purchase more. And I don't know where you live, and the best way I can explain it is like my hometown, because everyone does it. But it's kind of like if you're familiar with Dallas, Texas, Oak Cliff, North Dallas, Highland Park, whatever, a very prominent area is in South Dallas, is in Highland Park, is in Oak Cliff, and they're all connected to each other. Highland Park is known for being like, ritzy, where SMU is. And then Oak Cliff and South Dallas used to be that, back in the day, but over time and a long story, not as prosperous, right? However, there are still, and no disrespect to like people's religions or ethnicities, but I'm just telling this story where a lot of Jewish people still own properties, have bought properties from the bank. Some people had to foreclose over their stuff. So where like African Americans may have been prominent in an area, like the Jewish people bought it, won't let it go. Erykah Badu even wanted to buy commercial property over there, and she has the money. She's a superstar, and they still like because of what that could bring. Now this was years ago. I don't know if they still holding on to it for dear life or if she ever bought it. But it's just because it's so close, like the Fair Park and how much money they make is in South Dallas, and because it's so close to the suburb, it's like they keep etching into the hood or the urban society and like raising the prices, making it more friendly for tourists so that they can spread, the suburb. And then because of that, for some of you, that long story just led to an increase in rent, changes, or even opportunities into the jobs that are available. That's a plus of them recreating, inner cities or urban societies, is that, there are more Starbucks, there are more gas stations and stuff like that. However, because of transformations and changes, and as well as inheritance, as we talk about different economical backgrounds and who took what from who, the Four of Pentacles kind of represents all of that. Now, in this card, it talks about preservation. So preservation, when it comes to your finances, just says to hold back where you can, to be creative as you can when it comes to your spending. It doesn't necessarily say to penny pinch. If you over exceed this energy as the Emperor, it could talk about holding on too tightly and being kind of like stingy and frugal. So it may be a good time for that, but I don't want to overemphasize on that. Just know that it's not the best time to overspend. And it's crazy because it's like, why are the holidays approaching during this time when it's like not the best time to spend? And that's because corporate America knows that. So they're trying to get as much as they can because of, meeting goals and deadlines that they may have set. And we're in the fourth quarter. And wherever they didn't make their mark, you bet your bottom dollar that retail is going to try to push them into overdrive. Technology, toys, new movies coming out, holiday movies, all that kind of stuff. They're trying to get their last little dollar before we go into the new year. And how that affects you as a consumer, I would strongly recommend that you do the same for you and your family, to try to hold on through fourth quarter, to not, lose it all. So that's kind of good. That felt good to talk about. That was nice. The Ten of Cups is kind of like this bridge, okay? Bridging the gap. It talks about overflowing. So a need to persevere through this current time. For some of you guys, an overflow of abundance, a happy ending, closure, success, all of those things are coming. And there's a need to kind of be perseverant through whatever this quarter is bringing you. Because you're a Pisces and this is coming up as an obstacle or a challenge in your reading, this also says that some of us may have an unrealistic idea about home, life, love, the emotional energy, where if you're not in this Four of Pentacle energy of saving, I don't like to say penny pinching, but it just talks about this. This is a very mature energy, right? That's probably why it comes with the Emperor in this number 4, for many reasons. But for the reason that I'm feeling it in this particular reading, it has like knowing when to hold and when to fold, right? And so the 4 of Coins in this reading is kind of like that, holding the cards like this. Instead of, showing people what I got or throwing it all on the table, or a reading where I would say, take a gamble, put it all out there. A lot is to come back or whatever. This is kind of like the opposite of that, where we don't want to be unrealistic. We don't want to be in our feelings. We don't want to be one of those consumers that's bending over backwards to, live this lavish life, or have these big, beautiful holidays, or, just huge parties, or putting yourself out due to some unrealistic or fantasy-like energy. The best way I can put that, and not to say, oh, this is just Pisces, but it's a card for that dreamy Pisces energy. And how I thought about it when we were doing the reading, well, not when we were doing the reading, because we're doing it now, but when I saw the cards, because of course the cards shuffled out, I sat with them for a second. This is the energy of rolling your sleeves up, putting in the work. Kind of like I said, it's fourth quarter, it's crunch time, it's winter. And usually, even if coming from a street aspect, because I listen to a lot of rap where they say grind all winter, ball in the summer, it's kind of like that energy where it's just time to roll up your sleeves and kind of like work and kind of be smart and be mature and be kind of savvy. The 10 of Cups and being unrealistic or as an obstacle, it's like someone who doesn't want to do that. And just be mindful of that could put you in a negative energy, as this is also a time of like depression, anxiety. It's darker outside most of the days, and it could just be harder on you if you're in the emotions too deep, if you hold on to ideas or are very unrealistic when it comes to what life is supposed to be, what love is supposed to be, where I'm supposed to be. Just don't fall off into that gloomy, like watery energy, because it's like an overflow of that. And that doesn't help you when it comes to your finances right now. Then for the advice, where we have Judgment, for a lot of you, this is, again, end of the year reflection before we make those New Year resolutions. This is reflecting on the resolutions you have made and things that you have done, to see if you are living your full potential, to see if you have done all that you could do, what areas you can grow. This is also about discernment and judgment. And so here is a very practical, mature earth energy. Here is a very watery, illusionary, if that's a word, I make up words, so don't trip, kind of energy. And here's your discernment on how you choose to kind of think. It also talks about things coming back, things coming up. So everyone blames it on Mercury retrograde, that, things are delayed as Mercury retrograde has passed us over. Scorpio came up in our love reading, or actually our daily vibe. That is a very karmic energy. We had the 11/11 portal for whatever you think that is. And now we're having Friday the 13th, which I was just made aware. That's another like spiritual portal. 13 is a Scorpio number, right? The death card is the 13th tarot card. I don't think any of that is a coincidence. So it talks about those past issues, for better or for worse, good karma, bad karma. And notice that these are bats, and bats are also significant to that death energy, to that Scorpio energy. Okay, so another thing I wanted to touch bases on is like for some of you guys that may be changing in your career, where I talked about the incarnated angel. This is the card for that. So an incarnated angel is kind of like a starseed, or someone that isn't totally human, or has a heritage of celestial beings, right? Just someone special. And so the best way I could put it is like a moon child, a starseed, incarnated angels, where you may have kind of got lost in life. Kind of got lost in your human form, kind of got lost in some ways, because here's this illusion, right? Here's family, your emotions and all of that kind of stuff. You even got the rainbow. And so the rainbow child is also kind of like the indigo children, because this card does talk about counselors, preschool children. So some of you, it's all adding up that you have inherited some issues as a starseed, as a rainbow child, as an indigo child, and using those abilities to your benefit, which is why counseling, therapy, hypnosis, technology, a lot of those age of Aquarius type of employments or career fields that you have a natural niche for is what may benefit you. I don't want to say it's what you should be doing, but it's cool if you want to start a barbershop. It's cool if you want to have a painting business. But I feel like for you to work less, get paid more, and actually use your gift and feel like you have a purpose, I think it may suit your soul to like dig deeper and look into things that you actually came here to do. Instead of, okay, in my neighborhood, it's a lot of warehouses. So I'm going to apply for a warehouse because it's easy and it's right there and I could just do it. Or the story that I've told about being, traveling, being at a hotel, a maid comes to the door to bring me towels and her daughter is on the cart. And I asked for sheets and she was like, well, my mama's going to have to come back and bring that to you because I don't have none. So here was the grandmother, the mother, and this toddler living this, family tradition of service, which is cool. But it's kind of like they probably have some other strengths, some other gifts that, they could probably cut some corner in taxes, not have so many employer deductions, and start their own businesses and still be service providers. They could have their own business, don't get me wrong. They could have their maid services, but I just didn't see them happy, like cleaning up after others. And I know that's a sense of hospitality and healing. As a starseed, we want to fix the world. We want to clean up the world, but this is asking you to look into more efficient ways of doing that benefit you as well as society, because you had this mission when you came here, or you think you have a mission, and just making sure that it benefits you as much, if not more, man, because it's your life, but at least as much, if not more, than it benefits others. Okay, so I definitely like this card. These cards, it was like a first for me to even discover what an incarnated angel was, and looking at this little rainbow here and talking about star seeds. And then you have 10, and then you have 10 and 10, so 3 10s. I don't know what that could be significant for some of you, but you can look into that. As we always talk about the 10-10-10 rule, like if any of you guys are at this energy of, the drawing board and reflecting on the year, or how you want to move into the next year, or what you can do to advance right now. It just talks about how something affected you, 10 years ago, 10 years from now, 10 minutes ago, da-da-da-da-da. But these inherited gifts, if you guys would like to discuss this with us on the other side, that's cool. Your heritage when it comes to, or lineage, when it comes to an inheritance that you guys may get or have, like a gift from the celestial beings that you're going to be very happy about, like overly joyed about. We're going to be discussing that. Some of you that may be getting news about a new home or relocating, we're going to be talking about that. So until next time, guys, namaste.